Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Monday, March 2nd. Celtics play the Bucks tonight, or they played them last night, I guess, as you're listening to this. But tonight is we're recording this, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some other stuff. How you doing, Sam?
Good. Looking forward to it. Second night of a back-to-back for us, but full pod nonetheless. We'll talk about the game, of course, break down everything that happened. As now we know, no Jalen, no Nemi, no Jason Tatum, but Giannis sounds like he's going to be back. So we'll be talking about that. Speaking of Tatum, we are on Tatum watch. It is to the point where every time an injury report comes out, it's noteworthy whether or not he played, at least for home games, because that's when he said he wanted to come back. So we'll share the latest on that. There's been a few noteworthy Tatum things in the last 24 hours. We'll go through emails, we'll go around the NBA, look at the standings, and we'll talk about some post-trade deadline fallout, who's playing well, who's not, things of that matter, and then a little update on our man KP. And then we'll do the rat list and get out of here. It should be a fun show. Stick around through all of it. Subscribe. We're here every single day with full pods. Not full pods every day, but new stuff. Full pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday game recaps, morning after each game, and other videos in between. And pregame streams a half hour before tip-off. So be on the lookout for that stuff. It's a ton of fun. Subscribe, hit the bell. You won't miss any of it. But without further ado, Celtics Bucks. Let's hope we're happy.
All right, we are here after the Celtics monster win over the Milwaukee Bucks, 108-81, the final score. It was a slow burn, slow start-ish, slow offensive start. It seems to be the Celtics' MO lately, but they fought through it largely thanks to Hugo Gonzalez. Overcame a pretty strong Giannis start. I mean, outside of Celtics world, he looked pretty good in terms of health for his return for his first game in over a month. But Celtics took their time, waited out their slow offensive start, played good defense, didn't really turn the ball over much, hit the offensive glass, and then, man, did the shots start falling when they started falling. So credit the Celtics for keeping it going. Credit to Ugo, who was the star of this one, and credit the second straight game with 19 offensive rebounds.
Man, if you read me Ugo's stat line when we recorded the early pod today and said, guess who this was tonight, I would have said Giannis.
And if you said Celtic, I would have said Vooch.
Yeah. Ugo would have been, let's see. I don't even know where he would have been. That's a tough stat line for really anyone to have. I don't know. But maybe it was Garza. I would have been like, wow, Garza cooked tonight in his hypothetical start, which did not happen. But yeah, Ugo is just he's awesome. He clearly gets it. And I think everybody that took the court for the Celtics tonight was actually awesome. Like I thought with Jalen, with Nemi out after both of them had incredible nights against Philly, somebody was going to have to carry the burden. I mean, Derek was 5-18, ends up with 18 points, 9 assists. Like, he takes care of the ball very well, but not the efficient shooting night you would have hoped that he would have had. Pritchard is decent off the bench, and then you get double figures from everybody else in the starting lineup. Like, just even Jordan Walsh, who didn't score, 7 rebounds for him, 3 offensive. These guys clearly understand the assignment. It is, let's see how many extra shots we can get compared to Milwaukee. The answer was 21, and then if you factor in free throws, it's closer to 16. Milwaukee had a 10 free throw advantage. I mean, Joe probably is looking at his stat sheet, just being like, "This is the greatest thing ever." Like he's probably so satisfied with this. He won't show it whenever if he even has availability tonight. I don't know who's there other than maybe Abby, but yeah, like really great all around win. We can talk about Ugo or wherever you'd like to go first, but super impressive. Like, this was a big flex by the Celtics on the Giannis return game to just go in there and bludgeon them with their depth.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start with Ugo. 18 points, 16 rebounds, 5 offensive boards, 3 steals and assists, 2 blocks. Just what a night. 7 of 15 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, played 35-20, the most on the team. He did everything, right? He found space on the floor to be effective, and that's kind of been the key lately for everybody on the Celtics. It's just knowing how to fill space in reaction to what the defense is doing, whether that means scratching for offensive rebounds and finding the lanes, whether that means cutting off the ball, whether that means, jumping over to the 3-point line when they're not guarding you. Like, he just found a way to find space to be effective. And then defensively, dude was checking Giannis full court. Like he did everything, right? And Giannis, like I said, Giannis looked good. Giannis still did his thing. I thought the Celtics did as good of a job as you can do on Giannis, but you could tell there's a point to where, okay, if we're gonna stop him, we're gonna have to send multiple bodies. But credit to Hugo for keeping up with them, hustling and making things work as best he could. Just what a night. Probably the best game of his career. Just a monster on the glass, a monster defensively, like at his peak. He obviously can't average this for a season, but these are the types of games you'll expect from him, or you would want to, hope for every once in a blue moon when he is a starter, if he is a starter for the Celtics team, right? Like I don't think it's unfathomable to say, I wonder if Hugo can average 12, 8, and a block and a steal a game for the Celtics one day. Like those are very reasonable role player numbers. If this is the peak you're getting from his rookie season, right? The world is Hugo Gonzalez's oyster. It's very clear that at his best, Joe Mazzulla clearly trusts him. I think there's a short leash with him, at least for right now, because when he does get into the foul trouble a little bit, he does spiral. And that's just kind of the MO of him and Jordan Walsh for the time being, because they are so young, because they are first getting their real taste of big time minutes. Like at least Baylor got big time minutes in college for 5 years, right? Like there's a little bit of a distance there. But like if you want a glimpse into what the peak of Hugo could look like ta-da, here you go. Like this is it.
Yeah, and you knew it was going to be a good Hugo game when he did the Euro step on one of his first possessions and got absolutely stonewalled, and then just powered through and finished. Like he did the one drive to the basket move he does all the time, and it worked for him somehow. And then he gets a putback slam on the next possession. He had the first 4 points for Boston. You could just feel it. Even before that, he went 0 of 2 from the line. Like he was just forcing the issue. He came out, like understood the opportunity. And like, I don't think Ugo is the type of player that has to worry about seeing opportunities. I think he's in good standing with Mazzulla. I think he plays, or like throughout the season, he's played the most consistent of all of that like group. Like it doesn't feel like there have been long stretches where he doesn't get into the lineup at all. And because of that, I think there's just a coolness about him where he is like, okay, like I guess this is my job tonight. I'm just gonna go out and take care of what I can take care of. And I truly am just in awe of what, especially on the glass, like every ball he got to it. He truly just crashed. He was battling in there. Also, like Milwaukee is terrible. like the guys that aren't Giannis, ugh, Usman Dieng is the only other one that was like not bad. Miles Turner, good God. AJ Green gave you nothing. What does he do? Kevin Porter Jr., mediocre game. They didn't even play Kuzma. DNP coach's decision. Cam Thomas looked like Brooklyn Cam Thomas moping
Cam
around.
Thomas
Ryan
stinks.
Yeah, he stinks.
He's so
like
bad.
He's a loser. And he was like, man, they don't believe in you in Brooklyn and all that. Like, I don't know, man. You just don't do anything. Like you don't really defend. There was the play where Pritchard made a three or missed a three. Garza gets the rebound. It gets back out to Pritchard. And Thomas had leaked out, hoping he would get a fast break, like basket. And he didn't even care enough. Like he was within 5 feet. He didn't even really care to contest the second Pritchard attempt, and it went in. Like this Milwaukee team is a losing basketball team without Giannis. Like we were talking about with Nick, like that is one of the most disgusting rosters in the NBA. And I'm glad that the Celtics didn't take it lightly. Like I think they were forced to get up for this without Jalen and without Nemi. But cool. Ugo can go 7 of 15, 3 of 8 from 3. Cool. I'll take it every time. I'm sure this will be great for his confidence when he's asked to come in, maybe Wednesday against Charlotte or, any of the upcoming games.
Yeah, these are the fun ones, man. I always enjoy these games where we get to kind of see what other players can do, like not Jalen, not in this case Nemi, I guess, who wasn't in the lineup. And I mean, Luka Garza stepped right in and got 7 offensive rebounds in his first real minutes in weeks. It's just one trick pony is not a fair assessment. Like that's not what I mean by it, but it really is just like spamming the A button or spamming whatever button. Like this is what he does, just like gets in the game.
He will be there no matter what.
Yes, he's got to grab those boards. I did before. We can talk about all the other good stuff too. What do you think of Vooch? I think like he didn't shoot the ball very well, but I felt like his impact was a little bit more than how poorly he shot. Like he had 7 assists, obviously, so that was part of it. You probably wanted to see a little more from him. The defense isn't amazing still, but I don't know. You know what I did take from this? I think Luka Garza should be playing. I don't think he should just be out of the rotation completely. Like, I don't think Vooch was as bad as the stat line says, but I do think like you got to find minutes for Garza.
So I am one of the number one Luka Garza dudes. I have not been one of the number one Luka Garza dudes since they got Vucevic. It just feels forced to have all three of them out there. I don't think you need it, which sucks because Garza comes in after no rotation minutes in almost a month. Looks like he played yesterday. Super comfortable. He's in the flow of the offense. Like he's filling his roles in different plays and different sets seamlessly. He's getting out of screens. Like you can see that he is keeping himself sharp. As far as Vucevic goes, I have like the worst answer ever. Like we're trying to figure out where we're going out for my girlfriend's birthday tomorrow during the game. So I didn't get the greatest focus on Vucevic. I didn't notice him a lot, which I guess you could say is like a negative thing. Um, but like I didn't notice him for like a bad reason either. Like I thought he was solid. I thought Garza was more energetic and like more momentum shifting. But I think the assist numbers for Vucevic are the kind of thing that you can lean on with him where you're like, okay, like he's still going to be a connector. And I know Joe had the whole answer to Justin the other day where he was like, assists don't correlate to ball movement necessarily. You could get an assist with one pass, but like I stand by it. When Vucevic gets looks, he will pass it up for a better look every time. He is not afraid to
Yeah.
make the swing pass. And I think that embeds a lot of trust into the unit, right? Like where they're like, this isn't a one-to-one. But like when you play pickup and you play with somebody that you don't think you can pass the ball to because it's going to go up to the rim no matter what, it makes it really hard. And like, is that super common in the NBA? No, but like Cam Thomas was on the other team today. Like there are guys that you're like, I got to make sure if I'm giving it to him, we have position or we're going to get the rebound or this is going to go in. Like it's just, it's not going to move. And with him, he's just willing to do whatever it takes to win, I think. I don't think he has it on a night to night basis. I am actually surprised that he played in the back to back. Like if you wanted my real like medical opinion, for those of you that are hanging on the edge of what Jack and I think about Tatum, they probably should have rested the 35-year-old center instead of Nemi tonight.
I mean, he played 82 games last year. He's fine. He hoops. I think last year, and then one of the last years. The biggest difference I think between Vooch and really any of the other centers on the roster, and really anybody but the big three, he's a walking 2-on-1. He can bring two to the ball whenever he gets in the post. If you run the pick and roll, they're gonna double him in the post, or he's gonna score. And that is such a valuable thing to have on a basketball court. For as good as Luka Garza is around the rim and offensive rebounding, that he doesn't do that. Like he can't create that. And having that within an offense is so valuable. Having as many of those as possible within an offense is valuable. So, and not only that, but he can pass out of those pretty well, as evidenced by his 7 assists and just general passing so far this season. So, credit to him. It tailed off a little bit, but you can tell Derek White's confidence is back. Like I said, the efficiency wasn't as good as you wanted it to be, but he is just playing so much more freely, and it's so evident. And obviously tonight is a little skewed because he didn't have Jalen, so he's effectively the number 1, number 2 option next to Pritchard, who also had a much better game than he has. Obviously, anything's better than the 0 he scored against Philly, but it feels like Derek White is playing so much more confident than he has been in recent games. Credit to him and credit to Pritchard for bouncing back after a goose egg on Sunday.
Yeah, one of my 3 Houdini takeaways tonight was Peyton Pritchard's now averaging 12.5 points per game in his last 2 games. What a bounce back this was. But Derek, honestly, before I opened the box score, because I didn't have it open during the game, because I don't want to get it spoiled for me when I'm not actually at the arena. No way I would have guessed this is what he shot. I just felt like he was so much better than 5 of 18.
Derek?
Like,
yeah.
I thought he was way better. I was surprised when I opened
9
it.
assists.
Yep.
He runs the offense so well, man.
Him and Pritchard both. Like they do a great job. Like after this All-Star break or like during this post All-Star break stretch, like talked about Jalen yesterday and Pritchard has really gotten his assist up, but like Derek's doing the same thing. They're really leading into these guys as distributors one way or another, and it's fueling their offense. Like 108 points isn't the greatest thing, but it's really it's the only thing you needed. And honestly, 108 points without Jalen is actually not bad. Like, all things considered, it could have been much worse.
Especially when they're playing defense like this, which we can't talk about. But before that, I want to tell you guys about Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action this basketball season, this hockey season, this whatever season you're into, this baseball season coming up in about a month now. I'm amped for that. But shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every diamond, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. It's super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports: basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, more, all on Prize Picks. There's a new feature as well, which is early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Get in on the action. Prize Picks is now available in all 50 states: California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, all of the New England states where most of you guys are listening from as well. How you play is also up to you on Prize Picks. If you want flexibility, flex play might be your choice, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. But download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Outside of that, Hauser and Shireman put together some impressive games too. The shot was back for Shireman after a relatively rough, at least 3-point shooting night against the Sixers, and then Hauser 4 of 8. They had guys coming off a flare screen super well in this game. Milwaukee was just not coming up to the level a lot. Miles Turner dropping back on defense. Ron Harper 2 of 3 from 3 as well. I mean, they shot 40% from 3 for a reason, and they started off cold. I think they shot 31% in the first quarter, so they really picked it up. So. This was just an all-around very, very impressive performance. I continue to be impressed with how the Celtics can go through these pockets of turning the ball over, and the Bucks went on 2 like 15-3 or 15-4 runs in this game.
They started
and then
7-0.
the Celtics, and the Celtics are just like, it doesn't matter. Like we trust the process. We know what we do well. We know how we can limit these runs. And then they crash the offensive glass. They play solid defense. They don't turn the ball over, and they continue with their offensive process and trust it. And then they just keep racking up wins. Blowout after blowout after blowout. The only way the Celtics haven't won lately is if they just have a complete offensive dud. And that now happens, 1 in every 10 games, it seems, because what are they, 8-2 in their last 10, 9-1? Like,
Celtics have won 7 of their last 8, and all 7 wins have been by double figures. They've dominated. Have they played some ass teams? Maybe. Chicago, no Curry Warriors, the Lakers, Phoenix without Booker, without Dylan Brooks. Of course, they lose to Denver. Then they beat Brooklyn. Philly actually wasn't a bad team. And tonight, Milwaukee stinks. Like, even with Giannis, they stink. I'm sorry. And Giannis in his first game back is not going to be full force Giannis. Like, he missed a lot of shots that you're like, wow, I can't believe he missed that. Like, this is
I was
a guy
surprised with how aggressive he was.
Yeah, he was aggressive, but like, this is a guy that takes shots in the restricted area, and he was 7 of 18. He was sub 40%. Like, not the kind of game you were hoping to get from Giannis if you're Milwaukee. So it's impressive, but it's also like par. It's like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're
doing what you're supposed to do for a team that wasn't expected to do what they're doing.
That's a good point. That is a good point. So you have changed the expectations for yourself now. Like, we just expect you to show up and beat the shit out of Milwaukee. It's a great point.
If you said that at the start of October, a lot of people would be like, what are you talking about?
I honestly would have thought they lost today. Like, today. When I saw Giannis was coming back, and I was just like, this was an odd, like, less than 24 hours between.
Like, you thought this today?
Yeah, no. Like, I was driving home today from pickup, and I was like, I think they're going to lose. And I was like, that's okay. You know, they don't have Jalen, they don't have Nemi. Like, I thought not having Nemi against Giannis was a really behind the 8 ball type thing to have to deal with in this game. And
it stuck Hugo on him.
Yeah. Ugo's just not afraid of anybody. Like, his first NBA like real minutes was just go guard Jalen Brunson. Like, that's what it was. And then he's had Giannis. Who else has been mixed in there? I feel like he's had a couple other nice, like,
Cade.
He got the aside. Oh, Cade was another one. Yeah. He's versatile, man, and he just has like a 95 percentile motor. He's just going to give you everything he has. And maybe part of that's he's 20 years old, but seems like Brad really hit This is the blueprint of a player who can help you win games at a high level. Like, yes, we're getting to see it this year firsthand because the Celtics are actually good, but like there are more minutes to go around this season than there would have been last season. Like if he got picked in the Baylor spot, he would not have really gotten the opportunity to prove himself last year. But he could have helped that team win if he had the minutes, you know?
Listen to this. I'm just going to go down the line. These are the guys that Hugo Gonzalez has guarded the most this season in terms of total minutes. Listen to how many superstars there are, how many elite, like good star players there are, and the difference of positions there are. Siakam, and this is in order, top to bottom. Siakam, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, CJ McCollum, Bam Adebayo, Aaron Gordon, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Keontae George, Denny Avdia, Jalen Johnson, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Nembhard, Brandon Ingram, Shaden Sharp, DeMar DeRozan. And then you get Danny Wolf, Simone Fontecchio. Then you get back to Lauri Markkanen, VJ Edgecombe, Khalil Ware, Corey Kispert, Scotty Barnes, Jamal Shed, Michael Porter Jr. Do you realize how ridiculous that is? This is the 28th overall pick, and he's guarded players at literally all 5 positions. Like he's guarded the starting lineup of Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, Denny Avdia, Pascal Siakam, and Karl Anthony Towns. What the fuck? Like, what is that?
Yeah, from what I remember, he was actually really good on Towns in the Celtics win against the Knicks at TD Garden in December. Like
Towns,
I think like
3 of 6 against Hugo across 3 games though. So
okay, so it hasn't been
2
a lot.
turnovers.
Yeah, I think the turnovers came in that like quick succession in that game because I do remember it. I forget what else I was at. Oh, just like yeah, the Celtics have just been the team. I'm looking at Joe talking post game. Bobby Kravitsky shared the quote he said about the team's character. Want to validate work ethic. We want to validate the process by trusting all 12, 13, 14, 15 guys that are in the game, which they definitely did today. And when you can validate that through playing time and execution and development, which they've had the luxury to do this year because the roster is what it is, I think you just kind of have to do that. And like, it feels cliche the way he talks about this, but I feel like this is the type of thing that makes guys want to come play here. Like, I've talked so much. The Lakers just opened my eyes last Sunday. They just did. I'm like, these guys are a bunch of losers. Like, you have to think like there's a culture in everywhere. And like they talk, we how much do we talk about Heat culture for the first 4 years of this decade of like, you know, it's just different there. Like they really put those guys to work. And it was true. Like I used to say like they were just 3D printing new guys to come out and annoy the Celtics. And it like whoever it was that got on the court seemingly had whatever it took to compete and add to winning. The Celtics have figured out how to do that. Everybody, no matter who it is. Ron Harper Jr. was on a 2-way. The Pistons let him go last year. And the Pistons are not like a dumb team. They clearly know how to hit on their 2-ways. Dennis Jenkins has been awesome for them this year. Ron Harper Jr. was one of the more impressive guys for me today. I'm a little biased because I just think he's cool. But like
he's good.
He's cool for whatever. Like
he's really good. No, you're right.
He had 2 blocks in this game. He made 2 of his 3 threes. He kind of got a rough break on a challenged overturned and one that was probably the correct overturn, but it was kind of close. Portis shifted, but rookie type versus veteran. I know he's not a rookie, but he has rookie experience. That's just the way it's going to go, I think.
You know,
I just think he does a lot of good things, and I think he's another guy that, like, next year, the year after, he could have a rotation spot on a team that's good. Like, off the bench, he could catch and shoot. He has, like, irrationally long arms. Awesome player. Like
7'1" wingspan.
Pick any guy that played today, minus the garbage time guys that I don't know that much about yet. Even Amari literally helped them win a game this year.
Yeah, everyone. It's so impressive. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous what they've been able to accomplish. So credit to them. That's all I got. I mean, this team just continues to impress me. We can cut it there. We got a long show ahead of you guys for the rest of this one. So let's play a few more times this week. But let us know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll Sam take it out.
And to the rest of the show.
To the rest of the show. I forgot. Okay, bye. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed the Bucks Celtics recap. I mean, Giannis was back, so at the very least, you get a little bit of entertainment value there. I'm actually a lot more excited for the game than I was an hour ago now. So we'll see what happens. But The latest in the Jason Tatum saga that I no longer care about, we can in fact talk about. Bill Simmons, you go ahead. I don't care about any of this. I'm gonna let you run this.
Jack is not
Tatum's
even
gonna
going to
come back.
entertain
Whatever.
this.
It's stupid. It's dumb.
Whoa.
It's dumb as shit. It's so stupid. But go ahead.
So I agree with Jack. This is all a little bit stupid, but anytime we talk to anybody that isn't in our space, that's like a fan of the team, this is the first thing they always want to know is when is Tatum coming back. So here's what we have heard, seen, deduced over the past 24 hours. Step one, or event number one, right after Celtics Sixers last night, Bill Simmons does the live pod on Netflix. One of the first things he talks about is what he is feeling, I guess. He is about to say he's hearing, and then he cuts himself off. He goes, Tatum, it feels like it's going to be Friday against the Mavs. That's what, and then he stops himself and he goes, all signs point to Friday, Dallas. I was wondering if it was going to be this weekend, but by Friday, it was clearly not going to be. So I don't really know how much weight I put into what Simmons says. I think he knows some things, but I don't know if he's trying to report anything. And I think he was very careful with how he worded this because he didn't want it to be as if he was reporting this. But I'm sure he knows some people that work for the Celtics. I'm sure that people that work for the Celtics aren't eager to tell Bill Simmons things because they know that he has one of the most popular podcasts about basketball. But that's what he told Zach Lowe last night. That's what he's feeling. One of the more interesting things, in my opinion, is this Tatum doc. Tatum doc is supposed to be 5 episodes that are 3 minutes long, which is weird, but about his recovery. When the doc series was announced, it was supposed to be a weekly release of 5 episodes. So we got the first one after Celtics Lakers last Sunday when we were all on the West Coast. Episode 2 came out after Celtics Sixers or before it. I don't remember, but it came out yesterday. Episode 3 came out today, which has not been a week. I don't know why this happened. It could have been a mistake. It could have been somebody hit the button when they weren't supposed to. Somebody forgot to schedule correctly. There could have been a lot of things. One of the things that could have happened is they may want to get these out before he comes back. Don't know. Don't know how much stock you should put into that. But seeing it come up on Monday was a little surprising. So I know Jack does not care. I don't particularly care. I mean, I'm eager for him to come back. I think that'll give us a whole lot of new content to cover and new angles to cover and things of that matter. But as far as to when he will actually play, it is very much a we all have to wait and see. I remember when he was assigned to Maine last month, I was like, oh, it's like really happening soon. It's probably been about a month, 3 weeks or so, and there's really been no additional movement. You just have to kind of take it all in with a grain of salt. Look, man, they are going to tell you when they want to tell you. It'll probably be Celtics PR, injury report, and he'll be either not on there or questionable. Maybe Shams will put it out before that comes out. That's it. That's all we're going to be able to know it by.
If there's one person on this planet the Celtics are not going to fucking tell when Jason Tatum is coming back, it's Bill Simmons with the largest sports podcast on the planet who is streaming on Netflix after their national TV game. They don't want to tell Shams anything. You think they're going to tell the guy with the biggest fucking pod? Like, this entire situation has made us as a collective just infinitely dumber. This is the stupidest shit I've ever had to be a part of. It is like me trying to project a meteor striking the planet and killing us all. No one fucking knows. I can look at the stars as much as the next guy. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you when we're going to die. This is stupid. He clearly doesn't want us to know. He clearly doesn't want us to know. The documentary thing is cool. Maybe that's something. The weekly thing pushed up, like, fine. If you want to read the fucking tea leaves, be my guest. That is cool. That's fine. He doesn't want us to know. The Celtics don't want us to know. Nobody wants us to know. And so we're left here looking around like the fucking the meme of the guy at the chalkboard putting images on it, trying to figure everything out. We don't know shit. We don't know anything. I'm sick of talking about stuff when there's so much other, like, this Celtics season, there's so much cooler stuff that we can actually discuss and break down. And all of us are fucking hammering our fucking keyboards, typing about bullshit that we don't have any information about. This is so stupid. I'm over it. I'm so sick of it. I just want him to come back so I don't have to talk about it anymore.
Well, that's why we all have to hit the keyboard because everyone is curious, right? And there isn't a lot of information. Like as you said, like the Celtics are probably not telling Bill Simmons, like almost certainly not telling him. They do not want anything getting out. They're very tight-lipped about this. Anybody who's been asked about it gives nothing answers. Tatum gives nothing answers when he's had to speak to us. Because of all of that, everybody is so desperate because the magnitude of him coming back could be like I don't want to say championship deciding, but like it could play a factor in how deep the Celtics go in the playoffs at the very least. And so when you have a piece of a story for this team that large and that impactful, everybody wants to know. And with no information, people are so desperate to find out. And people are impatient. And like in an era where you don't even have to open your app, you can just get the notifications. You don't even have to really look to see and to dig. Anytime there is a breadcrumb, people scramble to consume it.
Don't get me wrong. It matters. When and if Jason Tatum returns is important. We got Polymarket Sports tweeting out Bill Simmons quotes. I'm over it. I don't give a fuck anymore. If Kalshi and Polymarket are like promoting this, that means I'm out. that's when I'm
Actually a good point. They're like, hey, here's what is being said. You should invest your money. I guess like don't those organizations technically not pull profit from that? Like whatever. We don't need to talk about these apps.
I don't know.
Because it's not really important. But Jack's point stands. We are all so desperate to learn something that we have just started to salivate at the smallest inkling of information. I do love that you got fired up for it, Jack. It's not often that you come on here like angry. You often give good rants about like insightful things, but I like when you have the chance to call everybody dumb, including me. Because of course, like my antennas went up today.
We're not it's not dumb to like notice things and acknowledge them. It's dumb to have the same fucking conversation over anytime he steps on a leaf on the ground. Like it's like I'm like Jason Tatum went upstairs today. Is he coming back tomorrow?
That was a real conversation that we had.
Jason Tatum went to Starbucks yesterday on his own without a walking boot. Is he coming back in a week? Jason Tatum, flew with the team on the team plane, but they didn't buy him an escalator to get up to the plane. It's over. I quit. I'm done.
Did you watch any of the docuseries?
I watched the first one. I need to catch up on the rest. I haven't had time to watch the others yet. But
like the first two could have been.
That's objectively cool.
The third one was the first one that was kind of separated from like him initially getting hurt, but I'm enjoying it personally. I have an interest in the sports medicine part of it. I know like
very
some
cool
questioned the like need for this, who actually cares about this, and of course Jack and I are in a demographic where it is our job to care about this, and we also care enough about the team to have this be our job, so of course we're going to care about it. But yeah, like I completely hear Jack. It has been a ridiculous saga for us to follow, but fortunately, until he's back, get ready to learn Simmons aggregation, buddy, because we're doing it.
Listen, the documentary thing is objectively cool. It's cool to see Jason Tatum and his team tell the story because there's actual insight. As the podcaster, I probably shouldn't say this. You guys shouldn't give a fuck what I have to say about this. You guys shouldn't care at all. You guys should not care at all about my opinion of when Jason Tatum returns. The only
other things they care about, but we're not doctors, is Jack.
Yeah, like the only thing you should maybe like, I guess supposedly I've seen him work out closer than some of you guys. All of the information I know. That's it. Like that's pretty much it. Like,
I mean, technically you've spoken to him. That's it.
Yeah, but they've also anybody who watched the video has the same information that I got.
Yes.
So like they're clearly being tight-lipped about this. Like there's other things like I'll talk to guys in locker rooms and I'll release those stories. Like the film story, that's something that I had that you guys didn't know. They don't want to tell us about this. So inherently the best information you're going to get is from the source, which is this documentary, which is probably why they don't want to tell us stuff about it. Like it's an exhausting conversation that I'm sick of. I'm over having. Well, we'll see if Jason Tatum comes back. Maybe he will come back against the Mavericks. Maybe Bill Simmons is right, but he wouldn't be any more right than anybody else who has guessed any other fucking date in March.
There is a significant incentive to come back against the Mavs because, of course, It now also just to tie that game into a bow, it's starting to sound like Cooper Flag's going to play on Friday, which is awesome. He's from Maine, grew up a Celtics fan. He's been hurt for the last several games. There was significant doubt that he would actually play Friday. Mark Stein put it out today. It sounds like he's going to come back. What better introduction, or I guess actually playing on the court introduction to playing at TD Garden could Cooper Flag get than to be there for when Jason Tatum does return, and to see the reception he gets and the appreciation he gets from those who paid to be in attendance. Like, kid that probably has dreams of playing for the Celtics someday. Whether or not that'll actually happen, whether the NBA's contract structure will really allow him to seek that opportunity out, is a different story. But still something to keep in the back of his head, something to remember. I remember Blake Griffin talking about being there the day that Paul Pierce played his last game at home. And he kind of carried that with him, like remembering how special that moment was, and whether that was something he carried with him because he had the opportunity to maybe have a career like that for the Clippers, or because it was like, oh, this is a really cool place to play. And lo and behold, Blake Griffin ends his career with the Celtics, which obviously is not getting prime Blake Griffin, but it may have contributed to how he ended up there. Also could have just been Celtics are nasty. I would like to try and win a championship before I retire. This is a good spot for me to try and do that. Sometimes it's very simple, but sometimes these things matter. So if you want to really annoy Jack, tell him how this is a big conspiracy to actually get Cooper Flag to join the Celtics in a couple years, whenever he has a standoff with the Mavs as a restricted free agent and takes a 1 year so he can hit the actual free agent market.
We're moving on. Let's go to the emails. Our reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Please do not tell me that Cooper Flag is going to join the Celtics.
If you see Jack in section 19 at the Garden, please go up to the media row and tell him, especially if you're there Friday, and tell him
do not do
how important of a day it is.
If I see it in the comments, I'm going to time you out and you're going to be blocked from commenting, and it's going to be Sam's fault.
And if he sees you in person, he's going to throw you over the rail.
RJ says, playoff Celtics. Morning, folks. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the video that will be eternally playing eternally at the entrance of Celtics University under its motto, Defensio Inducit Delictum, the block shot made by a former two-way player leading to a 2-on-1 fast break, led by an undrafted free agent and a late first-round pick, resulting in a lay-in. As this is, here we go. Here's the play. It is a Nemi block. Hauser gets it up the floor. Shireman gets it, kicks it to Sam Hauser. Good play. Good basketball.
Offhand block by Nemi. Kind of sick.
Yeah. As we and helped by Derek White, another late first. As we approach the playoffs and the inevitability that is the Celtics hosting the first round and growing likelihood that they'll host the second round as well, let's consider the effective roster. Coach Mazzulla will collapse it down to a 10-man rotation at best. So who will be in the playoff circle of trust? 3 answers depending on which version of Jason Tatum is on the roster. If do everything Tatum is there, JT, JB, D White, Nemi, Shireman, with Pritchard, Vooch, Hauser, Gonzalez, and Garza coming off the bench. With JT back, able to add offense, defense, rebounding, passing, going to assume the motion offense will be less in evidence, but he'll still need more time off the floor. Baylor plays better as a connector while Hauser can give the bench more scoring oomph with JT out. Garza is the 10th man because centers get called for more fouls in the playoffs. Fair. Defense and rebounding Tatum, JB, D White, Nemi, Shireman, Hauser, bench JT, Pritchard, Vooch, Gonzalez, Walsh. JT is back, but still rounding into full strength, so he comes off the bench and adds value as a 4-5. Offense looks like what we've seen most of the year, so expect more cutting and movement. No JT at all. JB, D White, Nemi, Shireman, Hauser, with Pritchard, Vooch, Gonzalez, Walsh, Garza. Jason decides not to come back for whatever reason. The Missoula, excuse me, sorry. Welcome to the Missoula Mad Science Lab. We see him pulling guys from the floor, not rebounding like it was the preseason. In this arrangement, don't be surprised if Amari and RHJ makes some meaningful contributions. Those are my guesses. What are yours? Well, RJ. Who thinks the most likely outcome? RJT starting with a limited role and it grows back as his stamina builds. I think Jason Tatum's not going to come back unless he's pretty close to do everything Jason Tatum. I think it could look different than past years because the style of play is different, and I think he'll adapt to it. But I also don't think Garza will play much in the playoffs.
No, I don't think Garza is going to play a lot. I mean, tonight against Milwaukee, and you guys have already seen this now by the time you're listening to the pod, could be a Garza game. Like, you could see how he fares against somebody who's one of the better.
Nemi's out. So
Yeah, Neemi's out for contact. So, like, he could get in there, and he may even start the way that Joe tends to like to keep guys in their roles as much as he can. So he might have some opportunities to try and be impactful against somebody like Giannis or stretch the floor the way that he had done for months in the middle of the season. But the bottom line is he's not nearly as effective as Vucevic is, and Nimi gives a different look than both of those guys, and Nimi's been awesome. So he just feels like the odd man out. There's no need to play him. And even though I'm a fan of his, it just doesn't make sense unless somebody's hurt, which you obviously don't want. Ron Harper Jr. is probably the most likely non-rotation, consistent rotation guy to get in, and even he hasn't played since they came back home. He played garbage time against the Nets and didn't see the floor on Sunday against Philly. Just something I'm watching, but I think he's been serviceable in his minutes. His shot could be better, but he plays good defense. He has a lot of tools that could help him be a rotation player maybe next year or the year after. I don't know if he's due for playoff minutes, though.
yeah, I think I honestly don't even think it'll be a 10-man. I think it'll be JT, JV, Derek, Nemi, and I think Hauser still gets the start to give the shooting next to those guys, and then Shireman, Vooch, Pritchard off the bench. And you'll probably just see Spot, Ugo, and Walsh minutes throughout the playoffs. But I think they'll keep it pretty tight to 8-man, and maybe throw Walsh and Ugo in when needed, as needed throughout the playoffs. That would be my guess, if Tatum comes back, obviously. Thank you, RJ. Next one. Good evening, folks. What a lovely way to start March. Celtics are better than they were the first month. He said getting the job done, by the way. Celtics are better than they were the first month. The proof is that the Celtics won by 16 points on Sunday, so no worries about clutch time. Baylor Shireman played 31 minutes with a thumb fracture and contributed on both ends. Neemish Queta stepped up as an offensive leader. From here on out, the Celtics are playing playoff ball because guys like Nemi, Walsh, and Ugo and others have to learn what it takes to get out wins, like making Maxey and VJ settle for 56 points on 55 shots. That sort of efficiency doesn't lead to winning, and that sort of efficiency was a result of grinder defense. This is a special Celtics team. Let's celebrate the season. Be well, RJ, who thought the only thing missing was a Nemi 3. Imagine Nemi made a 3. He almost made one.
Well, he had 27 points. Well, obviously he finished with 27 points, but like there was like a minute left and they were going up for an offensive possession. I think Shireman ended up making a 3 on it. And I was like, oh, they need to get him 30. Like, let him take a 3, see if he can get to 30. And it never happened. But I would love it if he had like a 3-point shot that was at the point where he believed in it and the team trusted enough to use it, because there are so many times, and this wouldn't happen if he had a good 3-point shot. Defenses do not even think about covering him, and he doesn't even look at the rim when he's doing dribble handoffs. And it could just give him another option in those situations. But I'm happy with the things he's added to his game in terms of defensive positioning, being a rim protector. Like the Celtics are 7 points better on defense per 100 when he's on the court versus off, or versus the season average, I guess. So he's done plenty to earn this starting spot. And there was plenty of discussion about that after the game, whether it was Joe, Nemi, Jalen, everybody kind of touched on it. Andre Drummond. Like there was a lot of good Nemi discourse. If you're interested in it, I wrote about it. I'm sure Jackson did some work on it. I know Noah wrote about it. There's plenty of Nemi stuff out there for you guys, but 3-point shot would be cool sometime, but he doesn't necessarily need it to be effective.
We'll see when and if that comes along. But all right, let's move on to the NBA standings. We'll check out how teams are doing around the league. I know teams atop the East all won the other night, so I don't think there was much movement in the Eastern Conference, but we can check out the standings nonetheless. Pistons obviously still in first place in the East, 5.5 games up on the Celtics. Then you've got the Knicks and Cavs. Knicks a game and a half behind the Celtics, and this could change by the time you're listening to this because there's a slate of games tonight, but a rough estimate. Raptors, Sixers, Magic, Heat, Hawks, Hornets in the play, and then the Bucks, Bulls, Wizards, Nets, and Pacers down at the bottom. Not much movement. I don't think at all since the last time we checked.
Yeah, all of the top teams won Sunday. Pistons, forgive me, I don't remember who they played. Celtics obviously beat Philly. Knicks beat the Spurs in Cleveland. I think they just beat up on the Nets over the weekend. It is nice to see the Celtics kind of distancing themselves from the non-home court having teams. Like they're now 5 games ahead of the Raptors. That was not always the case. Toronto was kind of looming where if the Celtics got cold, you could really believe that they could catch them. Now with only 22 games left, it would take a pretty significant Raptors hot streak and a Celtics cold streak for this to flip. Philly, same thing, 7 games ahead of them for 6. The Celtics are 9.5 games. Oh, 8.5 games rather, up on the 7th seed. So they are solidifying themselves at least in probably the top 4. They're 3 games up on Cleveland. Cleveland, they'll see them on Sunday. They play the Knicks one more time. Like, they will have opportunities to either distance themselves or the other teams can catch them a little bit with these later games. But as far as the lower seeded teams, that is not really something to worry about anymore, which is good. I'm very excited for Wednesday to see the Hornets in person at TD Garden. I've heard all this about how tremendous their turnaround has been this season. They have won 4 in a row. They are almost 500 for probably who knows when the last time they were 500 this late in the season. It's probably an incredible time to be a Hornets fan. Like, can you imagine being a fan of a team that is so you've been so beaten down and broken that being 500 in March would be like hang banner worthy type stuff? And I'm not trying to make fun of them, but like they could have a really exciting era coming up soon because Brandon Miller's young, Con Knippel's young, LaMelo's relatively young for somebody who's been around. Like he's like what, 25, 26. Like if he can stay healthy, maybe he can impact winning a little bit now that they've got some teammates for him. Might be a little bit of a time for a LaMelo apology. We'll see how any playoff situation goes. They did make the play-in a couple years ago, but it's been a while since people were talking about them. Like, whoa, watch out for the Hornets. Like, if you sort by point differential, they were what, 5th? Yeah, I think 5th in the East, just by looking at it. So they're playing really good basketball, and seeing them on Wednesday should be an exciting one at TD Garden if you have tickets.
Yeah. The Charlotte Hornets, at least this version, because obviously the old Hornets turned into the Pelicans, they've never won 50 games. And they're not gonna this year, but that should tell you the level of which this Hornets team has played basketball
They
since
technically
they become
could.
the Bobcats. They
are not
technically could.
mathematically eliminated from the first ever 50-win
No.
season, so just monitor that through the rest of the year.
The most they won was 48, and that was 10 years ago. So they could have their best season in a decade this year, and they just might. In fact, this is the first time they've won 30 games in 4 years. So pretty good. They 27, 21, 19 the last 3 years before this. So
when's the last time they were 500 at the end of a season?
21, 22, they were 43 and 39.
Okay. Oh, good.
So that was it. And outside of that, it was 2015 and 16 when they won. I mean, the Hornets had never made it out of the first round of the playoffs since becoming Bobcats, and they've only made the playoffs 3 times.
In that Game 7 that year you're talking about with Kemba.
This organization has made the playoffs 3 times in its 20-year existence. So this is a good year for them. This is a good year. And shit, if you want to include the old Hornets, they've never made it to the conference finals. So I mean, the most wins they've had in franchise history, including the old Hornets, is 54. And they've only won 50 games 3 times. So
the Bulls finally won. Anthony Simons, congratulations, first win as a Super Bowl a month later.
Bulls finally won.
They beat the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks who scored 0 points like for the first half of the fourth quarter, something crazy like that. There was an insane Chicago run down the stretch and it went to overtime, and then Chicago eventually won. Giannis is back for them, so they have a little bit to be feeling better about, but rough season for the Bucks, considering it's just falling apart at the seams. Giannis doesn't really sound like he wants to be there anymore. Doesn't sound like they want Giannis to play games. Like, oof, don't envy them.
Yeah. Brutal. West. OKC 3 games up on the Spurs in first place, Spurs in second. Rockets and Timberwolves effectively tied in third and fourth. Nuggets and Lakers in fifth and sixth. Then you've got the Suns, Warriors, Clippers, Blazers in that play-in. Clippers who are eventually or trying to climb up. The Grizzlies have won 2 in a row. They're slowly climbing, but they are in 11th. Then you got the Mavs, Pelicans, Jazz, and Kings. The Kings. Oh, the Kings. At least they won. They did get a win a couple games ago, but they are back to their losing ways.
They didn't even want that. They probably disappointed in the front office, at least. I'm sure the players liked it. Yeah, San Antonio loses for the first time in a month. Literally, they didn't lose all of February. They start March 0-1, lose to the Knicks. Of course, they no-show that game, right? Memphis wins 2 in a row, but they're 3-7 in their last 10. Like, it's just not been pretty for them. They are in a season from hell. Lakers winners of 2 in a row now. They've beaten up on some bad teams, which is what they like to do. They beat the Warriors without Steph by a billion on Saturday night. I was going to turn the game on after I got home from the movies, and it wasn't even worth it. It was like 25 at half. Just, I mean, signature Lakers, and then they beat the Kings yesterday. Like, this is a front-running team. This is why their point differential is barely at 0, because when they play bad teams, they run it up. They're 12 games above 500, and they're a half point.
At least it's positive now.
Yeah, it was negative when they were 10 games above before they won these two. Just a hilarious, weird team. They did lose a clutch game against Phoenix, though. Was that their first clutch loss of the season? It might have been, the way we were talking about.
No, they've had some, but they don't lose many clutch games.
Golden State just continues to be mediocre. I mean, Porzingis, we'll talk about him, but like, he hasn't played. He's sick again. I think he's missed 5 straight now. Wasn't at shoot around today from what I'm seeing from the West Coast on Twitter. Weird thing. And then they've got the Kuminga part of this out in the East, which we can move on to unless you have West thoughts.
No, I'm good. Let's run it. Kuminga has been on fire with the Hawks. I think they're undefeated in the Kuminga era from what I've seen.
Now they have not played. They haven't had to go through the gauntlet. Like, they played Washington. I forget who they've recently played, but he has been way better. Like, this is the guy that he is in his head in Golden State, right? Like, where he's like, I don't know why they're not playing me. They didn't want to extend me. I don't know why. I'm nasty. They're holding me back. This could not have gone better through his first couple appearances for the Hawks, for Kuminga. The Hawks, like, paid fan section, like the cheerleaders effectively that they have at State Farm Arena, were doing a thank you Warriors chant for Kuminga when he was going off in one of their recent games. He's on 21.3 points a game, 7.7 rebounds per game, and 3.3 assists on 79% true shooting through his first stretch with Atlanta. Celtics will see them a couple times at the end of the month for those that are wondering. And yeah, he has like the Porzingis rescue puppy effect, but on steroids. Like, he may have been one of the most unhappy players in the NBA with the Warriors, and now he's allowed to just go out there and play, and it's going very well.
Yeah, I mean, situation is everything in the NBA. Like, players all the time go to a new situation and blossom, and we could see that with Kuminga. Now I would like to see him struggle a little bit and see how he bounces back before we just assume like, oh, he's going to be nasty forever, and maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just be nasty, but yeah, good for Kuminga. Happy for him. And I don't even know if this is like a terrible look for the Warriors. Like, it's definitely not great, but sometimes you just don't fit with a coach in a certain system, and that's fine. And you kind of just have to move on from there. But it was long overdue that partnership ended. So I'll say that they needed to be done.
If you're the Warriors too, this was just such an odd fallout, because there was the whole everybody had to drag their feet in free agency part of it, where they were trying to negotiate the restricted contract with him, and it went until almost training camp, or maybe even into training camp, and they couldn't legally sign Horford or D'Anthony Melton or Seth Curry or like any of they had like 6 roster spots open throughout the summer because they had to figure this out, and they dragged their feet doing it when like they clearly never wanted to keep him. They just kept him as an asset, and then they flipped it for Porzingis, who can't play. And like, I don't think anybody at the trade deadline was like, wow, Porzingis solves everything for them. Maybe if he was healthy.
Well, yeah,
but
would
he
you rather have
hasn't been healthy.
Porzingis or nothing? Probably rather have Porzingis. Like, you'd rather have the chance to have Porzingis than have nothing.
I'm trying to like think back in my head, like, could they have signed anybody who could have been impactful? Like, okay, it was I don't know when all these deals got done, but like,
I don't think they actually had cap space. They had like the exceptions, which they used to sign Horford and them, so they could have just gotten them.
So this was like them keeping a cap slot alive. Okay,
pretty much.
NBA cap is just such a pain in the ass.
Because they have Curry and Butler's contracts, which is like 55 each. Then you have Draymond at like 25, 30, and then you had Kuminga, who whatever he was at, Moody's at like 9, Podziemski's at like 4. You had so many that there's no way they actually had cap space.
I mean, the Warriors are just another team. Like, they're very similar to the Lakers, where they have good pieces at the top, but then they don't have the other guys. Like,
yeah,
Odds is a lemon. He stinks. Like Moody's okay sometimes. They just don't have anybody that they should feel great about. Like
Yeah,
they don't have guys that are out there. Pat Spencer, they love him, but like
he's
besides
pretty
that,
good.
they they don't have like winning genes in their players. It's just an odd thing that some teams figure out how to get those guys and others don't.
Yep. It's just kind of how it is sometimes. But all right, other trade deadline people though, we can catch up around the league. Jared McCain's been playing really well for OKC, shooting the ball well, playing decent minutes. OKC 7-3. Harden is playing well for the Cavs, averaging 19, 8 and 5, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Good splits. Cavs are really good. And then Garland is gonna play soon, but he hasn't played yet. But he's making his debut, I think, in the next couple of days.
Yeah, and Celtics will get a look at Harden in the Cavs on Sunday. They'll be in Cleveland, 1 p.m. tip off. I think it's ABC National, so be a fun broadcast to watch. He's been awesome. It's the honeymoon Harden, as everyone has been talking about. The first like couple months with James Harden is always fun, and then he gets sick of the way the team is, or thinks he should be getting paid more, or whatever the motivation is for him getting frustrated with the situations, and it doesn't end well. But this is about as good as it could have gone for the Cavs when they traded for him, giving up Garland, who hardly plays. Like he's almost in the Porzingis camp, but not in the same way where it feels like he's injury prone, because it does, but like his injuries are always freak injuries. It's like he broke his face. It's like it's not like he has like traditional knee problems or something like that. It's just like, wait, how did you get hurt? You have a toe fracture? What happened to you? You stubbed your toe, you're out for 5 months. That's the kind of injuries that Darius Garland has dealt with. And getting Harden and just having him, knowing that you can have him in the lineup. Harden plays almost all the time. Like he hardly misses time. That seems to have done a lot for him, and it takes pressure off Mitchell. Obviously, has maximized some of the bigs, his finishes around the rim too. It'll be fun to get a look at them. And then the Philly McCain selling high on him, just so weird. Like they got a first round pick for him, but they watching the Sixers yesterday, they probably could have used him. They could have used some extra scoring in
Yeah,
a game where
I
no
mean,
one beat.
did you hear what Daryl Morey said like after they traded him?
Well, I don't know what he said about McCain, but to tie it together, Harden, he was like, I don't think any of the other teams in the conference made any moves to get better, like
Well,
specifically kind of like throwing shit at
yeah,
that situation.
he basically not basically he did say he's like, I'm very confident we sold high on him. Which damn. All right.
I
All
mean,
right,
look,
Daryl.
like 2 weeks or 10 games or whatever is not the sample
Yeah.
size that he needs
But
to be proven right or wrong. But like you could still use him right now.
I will say though, it's not like they trusted the smaller sample size over the larger sample size. Like he was great all of last year. He has a cold stretch coming into this season when you're playing guys actively ahead of him, so he doesn't have as many opportunities. And then you sell him because he's not the player you thought he was. You weren't giving him as many opportunities. He couldn't find a rhythm. He didn't have the confidence. Like, of course, he's not going to be as good. He goes to a place where he's playing consistent minutes off the bench. Shocker, he's shooting better when a team believes in him and plays him more minutes. Like it's so obvious. Like you bring in, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes playing over him now too because you have more guys back. Maxi's healthy again. Like obviously, like it just seems kind of like obvious. But last NBA thing, Steve Kerr kind of doubled back on his KP comments in regards to the not having pots part of things. Do you know where he said this? Do you know where he talked about this?
I believe he just spoke with the media, like the beat
Okay.
reporters, because I pulled this stuff from Anthony Slater's ESPN article from yesterday.
So Steve Kerr said, it was a stupid mistake by me to talk about something I'm not qualified to talk about. Even trying to discuss the diagnosis, that was a mistake. I need to leave that to professionals. I can't really say anything more on it. It's a medical issue beyond my capabilities explaining anything. He's sick. He won't play. We'll keep monitoring him. I don't really know what's going on.
It sounds like the story hasn't changed. None of us knew what was going on when it was happening. None of us knew what was going on over the summer. None of us knew what was going on in Atlanta. And then they put out the article trying to put a diagnosis on it. And then Kirk came out on the radio this week and was like, that's not a thing. And now he's going back on it. I feel for Kristaps because clearly this is something that is cutting him short, right? Like when he was with the Celtics and he was at his peak, he was a legitimately game-changing player for them. He was a cheat code. He looked like he was playing Nerf ball every time he would get it at the high post. And then because of this, you saw how badly it hindered him in the playoffs. And I mean, his time in Boston was probably done anyways because of the second apron stuff. Like they were going to have to move him, but he wasn't able to really make the most of it in Atlanta. Didn't play a lot. Him and Trey Young only played 3 games together, I think. And now in Golden State, he's missed 5 straight. He just hasn't been able to be out there. He won't play. He wasn't at shoot around today, so I'm pretty sure he won't be playing whenever the next game is. Just have to feel for him. Tough.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I feel bad for him, but hopefully he gets healthy sometime soon. But all right, Sam, rat list. What do you got?
Rat list is the Atlanta Hawks in Magic City. So old friend Luke Cornett has been blogging. He has his own blog. And on Monday, he put out a blog post denouncing the Magic City promotional night with the Hawks, which I believe the Hawks are giving out 5,000 sweatshirts that say Magic City on them at one of their upcoming games. Here's what Cornett wrote. This week, the Atlanta Hawks announced a special one-night collaboration to celebrate the city's iconic cultural institution, Magic City, during the team's home game against Orlando on Monday, March 16th. In its press release, the Hawks failed to acknowledge that place is, as the business itself boasts, my God, I can't read, Atlanta's premier strip club. Given this fact, I would like to respectfully ask that the Atlanta Hawks cancel this promotional night with Magic City. The NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. Allowing this night to go forward without protest would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community, specifically in being complicit in the potential objectification and mistreatment of women in our society. Cornette cooking. Man hit the keys. He's been hitting the keys a lot lately, and he's just been firing up. It makes me feel insecure as a writer. I'm like, damn, I didn't know Luke had it like this.
Steve Kerr's writing is so funny. I clicked on a random other one. Listen
Cornette,
to
not
this.
Steve Kerr.
Well, sorry.
Yes,
Freudian
yeah.
slip. This is the start of his other articles. There are 18 spots on an NBA roster, and unless the coach's name rhymes with Schmur, only 8 to 10 play on a given night. He's just all time, man. He's just all time. I love Luke Cornett. He's the GOAT.
I do wonder if like there would be there has to be a non-zero chance that if the Spurs don't make the finals, he will be at the finals as media. Maybe. I could see that happening. You're on mute, but I could
wouldn't
see it
doubt
happening.
it. Mm-hmm. My rat list is ESPN. I don't know if you saw this, but
good pull, Jack.
So Anthony Edwards was in the locker room, and that's the wrong one. That's another tab. Dane Moore of he's just his own independent journalist, I guess. There's nothing in the byline. I thought he wrote, I forget where he wrote for before, but Dane Moore posted a clip of Anthony Edwards basically doubling back because a year ago Ant was like, I hate when they double me. It's so annoying. I don't want to pass, blah, blah, blah. And this year he's like, I'm not mad at all because at the end of the day, my 4 is better than their 3. So if they double me, I trust my 4 guys against the 3 guys they got guarding everybody else, which is good, like growth, like a great get by Dane Moore, a great get by the Timberwolves beat. Like this is a cool progression. ESPN replies, hey, like, can we take this? And says, hello, Dane, please see your DMs for a message from us. And Dane replies, you do not have permission to use it. As I've told you numerous times in DMs, shouldn't have laid off all those reporters if you wanted locker room content. And he is going viral because he is fucking right. So many people are laying off sports journalists and reporters and then just stealing shit. It's lame. You are ESPN. You are the biggest sports company on the planet. People have named their children Espen, which is cringe, because you are so, like, they are so obsessed with sports and love your content.
Where did you see that? You must have seen an example.
I just know it's a thing. I just know it's a thing. Like over the years, people have, but you're gonna like try to steal it from local reporters who are getting in and doing the work for their individual beats. This is so lame. It's so lazy. It's so like telling of the state of sports journalism nowadays. Shout out Dane for being sick.
I agree. I mean, obviously, as someone in the space, like you never want to see jobs getting taken away, and when the answer to those jobs is laziness. It's annoying. Now, what I will say is the assignment desk account that replied is not pulling the strings. So, I mean, look, whoever's running the account is a faceless person behind the account. Like they're not personally getting flamed for it, but it's fun to see ESPN get dunked on. I can't lie. It definitely should be a situation where either they pay you for your work like that, like a freelance fee for using your footage, or they just straight up hire people to cover each team. Like, I know I'm not sure for,
Spend your
them,
billions
so
on real
yeah,
reporting.
go ahead, Mickey, open up the wallet there, Mr. Mouse, but, yeah, I know other outlets have used AI to write articles about different things too. I don't know if ESPN has. I feel like they have, but I do not know for sure. So if that's gonna be the case, man, like, no. I mean, that fuck them, plain and simple.
Fuck them, indeed.
If you'd like to give me a job, of course, but
I don't know how much other rat list I actually have. It was Michaela's birthday yesterday. You all said happy birthday in the chat. So happy birthday, Michaela. Hung out with her before the game, but I don't really have any other rat list. That's an anti-rat list, so that's all I really got.
rat list is my car. So my car, I get in my car on Saturday. I drove home Friday from the garden fine. My check engine light's on. So I go and my dad has like this thing you plug into your car. It tells you what's wrong with it tells you why. It gives you a code to why the light is on. So I go and I plug it in. It gives me the reason. And then my girlfriend and I are driving. We go to the supermarket to pick up some stuff on the way home. And then all of a sudden my light is no longer on. My check engine light just fixed itself. So it partially derailed my Saturday and also like struck the fear of God into me that I was going to have to figure out what was wrong with my car, knowing I had to go up to Boston on Sunday for the Celtics Sixers game. And I was like, oh no, like I don't want to have to worry about this. Like obviously it's not easy to immediately get something like that fixed either. So I would have to drive 60 miles to Boston and back or so with the light on, worrying, am I going to get stuck? Is something going to happen to my car? And I'm just so happy I didn't. But I didn't need my nerves to go crazy. And speaking of yesterday being Sunday, it unlocks new parking spaces when I go to the Celtics games because there are certain sections that are like loading zones Monday to Friday, or like they have meters that are designated for certain times of day, but like basically there are no parking rules on Sunday. As long as you're parked in a spot that is available for somebody, then you can use it. So I parked in one of these spots, but like anytime I do, I always just have in the back of my head, like maybe I messed something up, maybe I misread it, maybe there's a loophole to this that I could get got. And I come out of the garden last night, I walked to where I parked and I misremembered where I parked. So I looked and I was like, my car is not there. Did I get towed? And I was already tired. I mean, Jack knows we finished recording the pod at midnight. So I was like, man, I cannot have to figure out what happened to my car. No, it was there. I just am stupid. This happened to me one time before where I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just got towed. No, just
We're just looking in the wrong
tired.
place.
Yeah, just like literally like probably 20 feet away, like from where I actually parked is where I looked and I didn't see it because there was a little bit of traffic on the road. So I couldn't
Yep.
quite clearly see it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm cooked. No, I was good.
That
Just
kind of happened to me. Well, not exactly the same, but like looking in the right place, but not seeing. I couldn't find my watch when I was on the plane, and I was like, "We're about to land." I was coming back from Denver, and I was like, "Shit!" And so I was like, my Find My iPhone thing wasn't working because we were still in the air, and I landed, and I was like, "Oh, it's with me," but like, where is it? Like, it's at least it's somewhere, either on the plane or in my bag, right? So I'm looking, and I took a picture of under the seat, to like see if it was under the seat because I couldn't really bend down. And this was the picture I took. And it's like nothing under the seat, obviously, right? Like you don't see anything, right? And then
just
I'm
a
searching.
lever to release the seat cushion as a flotation device.
I'm searching. 13 minutes later, I can see the timestamp. I'm like, I'm gonna take one more picture. And as you can see, there's my watch. You see my watch. That's because in the first picture, it was just barely covered by this red thing. Like it's there. It's just I couldn't make it out because of the red strap. So I spent 15 minutes looking. I did eventually find it though, and I'm good. But yeah.
Glad you found your watch. Happy that you didn't have to find a new way to get one. Yeah, I think that's about. Oh, you know what? So on Saturday, I went to the movies, and I had not gone to the movies in a while. I had not gotten to indulge in popcorn in a while, right? So I get like the big bag of popcorn. Girlfriend gets a smaller container of Oreo flavored popcorn, which I think I've raved on this show about before. It's unbelievable. But I was just kind of feeling like the classic heart attack butter popcorn. So I got it. That's going to be the first time in years that I just wiped out an entire bag.
Popcorn's
I
so good,
forgot what
dude.
it feels like, but it is an incredible, incredible snack. I was thirsty as hell. My stomach was hurting after. We survived. We were all good, but just a man versus food type feat. Shout out popcorn at the movies. We'll be back.
I love movie popcorn, man. You gotta. Michaela taught me the trick. You get an extra straw when you get your drink, and then you put it in the popcorn, and then you put the butter through the straw so it goes to the bottom layers. Bring extra salt packets. Yeah, that's my shit. That's my shit right there. But anyways, we can wrap it up. This is gonna be.
I don't think Kaylin would have let me do that. What a situation you have set up that you're being encouraged.
Oh no, yeah, I get
the straw in the popcorn and put more butter in it.
I get educated. Why doesn't Kaylin like butter? She doesn't like.
Kaylin's about to become a doctor. She's not going to tell me to put more butter in my popcorn than I need to.
Ooh, and yet you'll eat plastic out of ice cream. Hypocritical.
Well, no, we upgraded to metal containers so that no longer happens.
Crazy.
I need to do ice cream tutorials. Maybe on the pregame later. I'll pop. I mean, I know Nick NBA's.
We got GeoGuessr tonight.
Yep, GeoGuessr. Nick's already in.
Last night.
Pumped.
Anyways, all right, we can wrap there. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're here every single day with new stuff. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find Jack and I streaming pregame live a half hour before each show, as we just said. So be on the lookout for that. Hit the bell. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. So if you just want those, follow. It'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Read them every single time we do the show, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's Jack Simone NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.